Hello and welcome to Chicken Bros. My name is David Heath.
I just have a hunch.
Nice. And we're here to talk about Wallace and Gromit's first feature film, The Curse of the
The
Were
curse
Rabbit.
of the were-rabbit.
This was Aardman's not first full-length film ever. They did Chicken Run before
No.
this, but it's their first film with Wallace and Gromit, which is interesting.
Do, 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 do,
And
do. I mean,
this movie was what introduced me to Wallace and Gromit, believe it or not.
hmm, I had already known who they were because I had the shorts on video.
Yeah, I didn't see those until later. But yeah,
Yep.
this movie, like we said in the last review, like Wallace and Gromit has gotten into this thing where every time you see them, they have a new business. This time, it's
Yeah.
pest control, specifically of
They are
the kind.
humane.
Yeah, they're humane, and they specifically deal with rabbits. Because apparently there's a
Rabbits.
lot of those in Wensleydale, or no Wensleydale, shit, West Wallaby Street. I got my W words mixed up.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of rabbits running fuck.
Wah!
Yeah, I was worried that was going to come into conversation. But anyway, one rabbit makes its way into the Mulch household. These couples whose last name is literally Mulch. Uh,
Me
and,
prize pumpkin, me little baby.
and like Wallace has this very complicated alarm system worked out in his house where a specific person's portrait will alarm and let them know where to go. Again, I think all of this was just to show off the stop motionness because it's all
Yep.
intricate and complicated. But Wallace and
Very
Gromit
Rube
quickly
Goldberg.
get to business, and it's funny because like Gromit bags the rabbit, but then the rabbit starts moving around the whole yard. It's like, over here, Gromit, to me, gotcha. And so they take the rabbit in, like they basically like put him in the back of the van and take him back to. They don't kill him like Noah said. They're humane, so they just like
Yeah.
house them.
Yeah, and there's a crap ton of them.
Yeah, and it's important that they do this because the reason that there's so much vegetables everywhere is because there's apparently a vegetable competition going on, and they don't want the good people of West Wallaby Street don't want their veg to be munched on by these rabbits.
Even though it's what they do, but we'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it cuts to the scene that's unnecessarily chilling, where Gromit picks out a knife, sharpens it, and then was about to slam it down on
A carrot.
Yeah,
Yeah. This movie is kind of an homage to horror in a way,
yeah, like the classic monster movies.
but like in a way that's way kid friendly.
Yeah, like it's very goofy. And yeah, he's like it becomes very clear to Gromit that they have way too many rabbits because they're getting everywhere.
Yeah.
But the next morning passes, and again the same mechanism that lifts the bed up and pushes Walt through the hole. He gets stuck in it because he's put on a few.
Growing up, pal, happened again.
I'm
Need a
gonna
bit of
need some
assistance.
assistance. So he pulls the trigger that says assistance, and it's this big freaking sledgehammer that slams down on
Boom.
Wallace. Ow! He's like, I'm sure that hole's getting smaller. Like, yeah, that's what's happening.
I'm ready for a big old heaping plate of vegetables.
Yeah.
Still got another diet, eh? Watching me shape.
Yeah.
How's that prize melon of yours coming?
Yeah, he basically distracts Gromit so he can not eat the vegetables and try to sneak some cheese, but apparently Gromit was one step ahead of him.
Lovely food. For rabbits, that is.
And he goes to this thing where it's like he pushes
This cheese platter.
Yeah, and he opens it. Ow!
Oh!
It was a mouse
Caught
trap.
me red-handed, I suppose.
He's like, I'm sorry, Gromit. I know you're doing this for my own good, but the fact is, I'm just crackers
I'm
without
just
cheese.
crackers about cheese.
And so he decides if he's going to change his ways, he's at least going to do it through the power of technology. So he has this invention. I don't know what it's called, but the idea is that he straps it to his head, and he basically alters his brain chemistry to think in a different way than he's normally supposed to. And he's about to activate it until he gets a call.
I would honestly use that because there are some things in my brain that I want to get rid of.
Me too. My gosh. If it didn't sound so dangerous, I would partake in that. But, you know. mean, like
he
Wallace
gets a
says, just a little harmless brain alteration. That's all. Yeah, harmless. But anyway, he does
then
get
he
it.
gets a call from Helena Bonham Carter. I mean, Lady Toddington.
No, Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
Helena Bonham Carter.
pretty much with a carrot hairdo. Um, and she's like, she
Your
was calling because she
ladyship.
apparently has a really bad rabbit infestation at her house and needs anti-pesto, as they call themselves, to come over. And he goes, "We'll be right with you, madam." And I can't wait,
Yeah, I
nah.
can take it now. And then this hoity-toity hunter named Victor Quartermain, Gaston ripoff,
Yeah, voiced
is at her
by
door.
Ray Fiennes. Yes, Lord Voldemort.
Or Ramesses if you're a Prince of Egypt fan like me.
Right. He's like, he comes knocking. Like, what? I heard you had to spot a rabbit bother. And like, let me just put this into perspective for you, Chicken Bros fans. This was the first movie I'd ever seen or heard Ray Fiennes' voice in. So now, anytime I see or watch anything Voldemort related about Harry Potter, I can't not hear this character. It's weird. But anyway, this guy is, like Noah said, a hunter, and he has this little, I don't know what kind of dog that is, but he's like this kiss-ass
Honestly,
dog.
I think he's a bulldog, just based on, I don't know, his
Probably.
temperament, I guess.
Probably. It's hard to tell with the claymation style, anyway.
Yeah.
But when Wallace and Gromit arrive to Tottington Manor, they realize it's not just one or two little rabbits. It's a
It's a
whole...
whole crap ton.
Yeah, in a big green field. A line Wallace has, like, they must be breeding, like,
Well,
rabbits. And Gromit's like,
rabbits.
really?
Gonna need the big vacuum, lad.
Yep. And so, they activate this big... They call it the bun
Bun
vac.
vac.
And,
Bun vac.
the tube goes through one hole and it's supposed to like suck through all the holes in the yard or the big field to catch all the rabbits. And accidentally, Victor gets caught in one.
What's funny is Victor's about to shoot one, and I mean he fires, and like you just see the poor bunny going towards a light, and he goes through the hole, and he sees a bunch of other floating rabbits. Like, oh, this must be bunny heaven. Nope, just a bun vac. You're good.
Yeah. And he's like on one knee explaining himself to Lady Todd. And he's like, "There's no nonsense with Victor Quartermain. What you see is what you get." His
what you
toupee
get.
flies off.
Woo!
His head gets sucked into the hole. His whole body gets sucked into the hole. And when it reaches the nozzle, Wallace is like, "Perhaps I should have used a bigger nozzle." And of course, Victor's pissed about all this. Like,
I want
to
to
pay,
pay.
please. Oh, that's grand. We take check or cash. To pay, you idiot. My hair is in your machine. Oh no,
Oh
it's
no,
only
it's only
rabbits in there.
The hair I think you'll find is a much larger mammal.
So he finds, I mean, it's not his hair, but it looks like his hair. It's a black rabbit. And like puts it on his head. Like, I bid you a good day.
Friggin' rabbit waves.
And you know, right before they leave, Lady Toddington says something to the effect of like, "I don't want to send them away, but they do love their veg. It's in their little buddy nature, and you can't change that." And then Wallace goes, "What can you? You get this really bad idea."
Yeah.
So he basically connects his brain machine to the bun vac and uses these lunar panels to basically use the brain machine to use mind waves to change the bunny's nature, so that way they won't go after vegetables, so they can set them out free, and the vegetables of the townspeople won't be in danger. It's a good idea on paper.
Veg bad.
Exactly. Say no to carrots, cabbage, and cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
It's a good idea on paper, but you know, I mean,
in the hands of anybody else, it probably would have worked, but Wallace is Wallace.
If it were in the hands of Jimmy Neutron, I wouldn't have trusted it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But Dexter.
Oh, Dexter probably could have made it work. But yeah, well, it's working at first because like the mind waves get sucked into the bun vac where the bunnies are, and it like messes with their brain. Like you see it like alter them. But the Wallace accidentally kicks the switch from suck to blow, and one of the rabbits gets sucked into the brain machine, and it's altering both his brain and Wallace's brain at the same time. It's like, Gromit, kick this off! And Gromit does eventually like destroy the brain thing with a what is
Yeah.
that?
A wrench.
A wrench. Thank you. I don't know why that was escaping me. But they give a carrot to the bunny, and he goes. I think it worked,
How is-
Gromit, a reformed rabbit. We'll call him Hutch. And he's twitching. So it's like, okay, is there something else going on here? And I gotta give this movie credit. I mean, like, it fooled me as a kid, but like, there's a cool twist in this movie, and like, the movie really makes you think that Hutch is the were-rabbit here, because it like sets up everything, like he's twitching, and when the night comes and the moon's out, his little kennel that he's in breaks loose, and then all of a sudden everyone's vegetables are getting eaten by this unseen creature.
Yeah, a pest-free night, but chance.
Yeah,
Everyone's
all the things are going
portraits
off.
are lighting up.
And there's this scene where this unseen creature goes to the church and sees the vicar, and he's got all these vegetables displayed out in his church. It's like, it's for the needy. He's like, and what's funny is like, he's like, is anyone there? And he hears this big burp. He goes, Mrs. Mulch?
Mrs. Mulch?
And then you hear the creature go, like, oh, you're hungry.
Hungry.
Please take
well,
what you like.
It is for the needy. Please take what you like.
And then it's from the perspective of the creature, so you don't see it, but like it comes out and emerges over the vicar, and he's terrified. He tries to reach for a crucifix, but he grabs two.
Cross, not a crucifix. Cross.
Oh wait, have I got the thing wrong?
Yeah, and honestly, outside of the Catholic/Christian community, you wouldn't know this, but crucifix specifically is what Catholics have, the cross with Jesus's body on it.
Oh, okay.
Other Christian denominations don't have
Jesus'
just body on the cross. Yeah, it's just a cross at that point.
My bad.
But then he grabs two fucking cucumbers and he goes, Mercy!
And the creature eats the cucumber. He's like, he passes out. And proceeds to eat everyone else's veg with the night. And the next morning, they're all gathered in the church to talk about what's going on. And I don't know why, but this makes me and Noah laugh. The way the constable is like talking about like, this flippin' vegetable competition causes nothing but trouble every year. If you ask me, what? I tell you.
Alright, I tell you.
If you ask me, this was arson.
Arson?
Aye,
yeah,
someone arson around. One of you lot. A man, and then the vicar wheels himself in. I don't know why he's wheeling himself in. He's like, this was no man.
Does a man have teeth the size of axe blades?
Or ears of terrible tombstone? And like he's describing this horribleness that's happening. Like, we've brought a terrible judgment upon ourselves. And then so you hear this organ music, and the constable's like, hey, give over! And the organ player's like, oh, mental.
Mental.
He's like, a hideous creature has been sent to punish us all. Repent! Repent! Lest you too face the wrath of the were-rabbit. And you see the stained glass window is like this huge rabbit outline. And of course, Victor shows up. He's like, I'll hunt down your
rabbit.
Yeah. And like he proposes to hunt him like a hunter would, but then Lady Tottington says like, I think we should give Auntie Pesto another chance. It's like, well, what are they gonna do, Mr. Wallace? We'll use a big trap. And Gromit's like, facepalm. And everyone's like, by Jove, he's got it!
Also, one thing I thought was interesting that I think David actually pointed this out to me, because I didn't get it the first time, was like, at some point when Victor's going on his spiel, he's standing in front of something that makes him look like he has devil horns.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it cuts to Lady Tottington, she looks like she has angel wings and a halo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little symbolism there. And so their big trap idea is to build and maneuver this big puppet female were-rabbit. You can tell it's female because it's wearing a necklace and has lipstick. Anyway.
Come on, like Gromit's controlling it puppet
from
style.
Inside the van, yeah. And he's like,
and he's just doing like a standard walk cycle.
Yeah, he's like, come on, Gromit, a little more alluring. And then so he just starts walking like all feminine and flirty, like very cheeky.
But then Wallace rams into a bridge.
Well, no, they go towards a tunnel, and because the height of the were-rabbit doesn't match the tunnel, it gets stuck and flings Gromit to the ceiling of the van. And so Wallace goes to deal with it, and while he's gone, Gromit just sits in the van, like knitting and listening to the radio.
Oh yeah, Wallace. Oh yeah, Gromit knits. That's a common theme. We forgot
Oh,
to
he
mention
knits?
that. Oh, he knits.
But while this is happening, something is lurking in the darkness, and Gromit's trying to honk the horn to get Wallace to hurry. But then the creature comes back. Like there's this big like sign outside of a store that says Harry's or Harvey's. No, it says Harvey because like Harvey the rabbit. And it's a big carrot. But
Reference.
then like in one shot you see it, but in the next shot it's suddenly gone, and then it plops down like in front of the front windshield of the van with a bite taken out of it, and he sees the creature taking off. He's like, okay, Wallace isn't coming back. I need to take care of this myself. So he chases the creature through the city, and this is so goofy. I mean, I know a lot of things in this movie are goofy, but like, there's a thing in the front hood where it's like it has a lasso. I don't know why. That just it's like very cartoony to me.
Yeah.
But he latches it onto the creature, and it starts pulling the van, and it's like I think it starts burrowing, like digging a hole into the underground, and starts pulling the van with it.
Yep.
And it eventually gets free of the rope, but and Gromit has to take the van back to the house in the morning, and it has like a de-mud option, and the van kind of shakes like a dog too.
I tried to clean, but it picked me up with mind power and shook me like a dog.
And of course, Wallace is back at the house in the morning, and all the things are going off. All the phones are ringing. He's like, "Where'd you get off to, lad? I thought I told you to stay put. It's all madness around here." And then the Gromit notices these footprints that lead off into the basement, and all the normal rabbits are terrified because they're looking over at where Hutch is, and his pen is completely destroyed. And so Wallace is like, "The lunar panels, they must have enhanced his bunny nature. Now whenever the moon comes out, he turns into this hideous vegetable eating machine." He's like, "Gromit, this is fantastic!" He's like, "Okay, so we made a giant rabbit vegetable eating monster, but we also captured it." And so he goes to run off to tell Lady Toddington the good news, and basically just leaves Gromit to trap Hutch. Like,
Ponder.
yeah, like you're just really leaving him behind, aren't you?
I mean, he is the smarter of the two, so
True.
if anyone can do it.
Yeah, and he essentially makes the pen but bigger and more reinforced, and he locks the basement door. But he notices the footprints don't stop at the basement; they continue on upwards up the stairs, and the rabbit footprints start turning into human footprints as it leads to Wallace's room, and you see a bunch of eaten vegetables. Now, this is the moment in the film where you're supposed to know, oh, Wallace is the were-rabbit. But for some reason, little 7-year-old me, or however old I was, didn't put it together at that moment.
I don't know if I'm misremembering, but I think the trailers for this movie spoiled that, so I already knew Wallace was the rare rabbit.
I don't remember them spoiling that.
I can't remember if they did or not.
I didn't really see the trailers for this movie, so I don't know. But even after that scene where it shows the footprints and the eaten vegetables in Wallace's room, I still didn't put it together. Didn't know what was going on.
We were kids.
Yeah. So he's at Lady Toddington's and noticeably acting a little strange because he's eating plants and he's losing it over vegetables, which is very un-Wallace-like. Again, I somehow did not put this together.
And he's wearing this... Isn't this the scene where he's wearing that purple sweater vest?
Yeah.
I know that doesn't really matter, but it's just... I'm trying to remember where we are.
This is that scene, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
they're getting close, by the way.
Yeah. He starts calling her Totty.
At her insistence.
Yeah.
And Victor over here because he's a jealous bitch.
Yeah, he's like all mad and shit.
And he says something that if anyone's gonna get her money, it's gonna be me.
Well, that's later when he confronts him. I'm still like at the point where because like she's showing Wallace her like big vegetable like collection or whatever.
Sanctuary.
Yeah. Like up at the top of her house, and there's just hilarious visual gag that I missed for years, where it's like because Wallace is of course expressing interest in this, and she stands in front of two big melons, and she's like, Victor's never been fond of my produce. So anyway, Wallace is incredibly tempted to eat the vegetables, and Gromit's trying to get him out of there. And she shows him this huge carrot. Like, I don't think it's possible to make a carrot that big.
I don't think so either, but I'm not a horticulturist, so I have no clue if that's true or not.
And Wallace was like this close to take a huge bite out of it, but Gromit managed to set off the water fixtures.
Sprinklers. Yeah.
And so they had to leave, and like it shrunk his purple vest. And when they're on their way home, they noticed a tree that it looked like it fell over. So Wallace tries to get out and like move it, but Gromit looks and notices the stump. It was chopped off, and that's when Victor shows up, telling him like, "You think you can con an innocent woman out of a fortune, but I got here first. I'm not letting you take away what I have here."
Yeah.
So he intends to beat the shit out of him.
Queen for the rules.
Yeah, again, because of that, I just I can't believe that's Voldemort. But
It shows you what kind of actor Ray Fiennes is.
Yeah.
Even though
if anything, that's the takeaway I should be having here.
Even though he can't spell his own name right.
He can spell it. It's not that he pronounces it wrong. He just doesn't like to go by Ralph. So he just chooses to go by Ray. That's a choice of his own. But anyway, the moon starts coming out, and Gromit knowingly locks his doors. And this is when I put it together when I watched this movie, because then Wallace starts transforming into the were-rabbit. This is the first time we actually see it.
How?
Now tell me, because you said you thought the trailer spoiled it. Is it because of the bow tie?
I don't know if it's because of the bow tie or what, but I think it's... I don't remember. Because I haven't seen the trailers in so long.
But yeah, it's at that point, like, now Victor knows, and he knows that Gromit knows, or knew already. So he goes to the vicar for advice or anything to do, like if he knows anything about this. So he's like, I need to know how to kill him. I mean, it. He's like, to kill such a creature requires nerves of steel and a bullet.
A bullet.
A bullet?
A bullet?
A bullet? What kind of bullet? A bullet of pure gold. Shows it like there's like 3 gold bullets in his like closet or whatever that was. 24 carats.
Carats.
Yeah, I didn't get that when I was a kid. But Victor takes the bullets and plans to shoot the were-rabbit. And the next morning, Gromit's like dealing with all this, and when Wallace wakes up, he has the rabbit ears still. He's in his human form, but he has rabbit ears. And he somehow doesn't notice until Gromit puts a freaking mirror up to him. Oh, fancy that. Rabbit ears. That is a bit odd. And because Gromit can't talk, he has to like basically pantomime to Wallace that he is the were-rabbit. He's like, you think I'm the because of these? Like, somehow, like, yeah, what else would it be?
So you think I'm turning into a giant rabbit? Next to say that Hutch is turning into me.
And, yeah, so they go down to the pen, open it, and they hear a very high-pitched Peter Sallis voice say, cheese!
Cheese!
And so Gromit holds out cheese, and out comes Hutch wearing one of Wallace's vests and his loafers. Eats the cheese.
I do have a bit of gorgonzola.
Yeah, and Wallace is like, oh no. And so because everybody's veg got ate again, they're all telling Lady Toddington to call off the vegetable competition because it's supposed to happen tonight, but the beach is still out there. And she was like, I thought anti-pesto, like, they're full of lies and all that. And then Victor shows up. He's like, I mean, I can take care of it. So she has no choice at this point. And Wallace realizes he can't rebuild the machine because like he says, his mind's just a rabbity mush. But if he can't fix it, the other me
can.
I'm inventing mostly. And then the doorbell rings, like, oh heck, I can't answer the door, not like this. And then Hutch is going up the stairs. Charming, I'm Wallace.
I'm Wallace.
I already am. And then Wallace has to make himself look presentable because it's Lady Toddington. So he wears this. What is that?
Hat, jacket.
What's the name of that hat? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well,
I want to
it's
say toque, but that's a Canadian term, so
yeah,
I
it's
don't
not a
know.
toque. But anyway, he's wearing this hat to cover up his rabbit ears, and then Lady Toddington has to basically give Wallace the bad news that she's had no choice but to let Victor shoot the were rabbit, and Wallace is like, shoot it, and the moon starts coming out. This full moon is like, full moons don't happen every night.
No, they do not.
This is a, but movie. And so Wallace starts transforming right there at the door, and he's like going to great lengths to try to hide it. And he's trying to send her off so that way they can deal with this. And she starts walking away, but when she looks back, for some reason he sticks his face up to the window, and goes, and she starts crying. Like, okay. And then so Victor's close behind, and Gromment's trying to figure out what to do. So he puts on the fake female rabbit suit again and tries to lure Wallace out while he's full were-rabbit. And Victor gets one shot off, but like it's kind of from a distance, so you don't really see what happened. And the shot was heard all the way to Toddington Hall, and they're like, "It's done." And Lady Toddington's
There, my
crying.
child.
Yeah, the vicar's like, "Let us take a moment to join in your sorrow."
Yeah!
Yeah! Like, damn. And
Fucking Protestants.
then Victor realizes he only shot the fake were-rabbit suit that Grommet was in, and Wallace is on his way to the vegetable competition. So he locks him in one of Auntie Pesto's traps, but Grommet cleverly gets the thing going to get a hutch out so that way he can get him out. And he has to use his prized melon to lure Wallace away. Poor Grommet. He was
Worked so
growing
hard on that thing.
He was growing that thing beautifully. And I don't know if this was intentional or not, but like the way Lady Toddington was dressed, she looked like a giant carrot.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think Wallace ends up there at some point, like right because Mrs. Malt starts running away with a prized pumpkin.
Hey, come back! Come back!
Go away!
Go away! Go away!
And Victor ends up using all of his gold bullets because because the second one he shoots it in the air to get everyone to shut up. He's like, I've only got two. I've only got one gold bullet left, and then someone steals the gun from him and shoots the last one off, and it doesn't hit Wallace. So he decides to use the trophy is shaped like a carrot, and it's also made out of gold. So he uses a musket and tries to use it as a bullet. But, of course, Lady Toddington's protesting because, it belongs to the competition. And because of this, Wallace tries to protect Lady Toddington. It turns into freaking King Kong because it's like big creature holding on to Lady, clinging from a big building.
Yeah. I love how, like, what do you want, you horrible thing? And Wallace does that little hand thing he does.
With his hands, yeah.
And that's when she realizes, oh shit, that's Wallace, that's my man.
Yeah. And while this is happening, Grommet gets on like this little toy plane that apparently can fly. Like it's like a ride at the carnival, but it can actually fly, like for realsies.
Yeah.
And the other dog, Philip, that's his name, gets on one and starts a dog fight. Get it?
Yep.
And what's funny is like they end up on one together, and then it runs out of like because they're coin operated, so it runs out in the top, and Grommet's like, I don't have any, and then Philip pulls out a pocketbook and like with a little flower on it. He's like looking, he's like, puts it in, back to the fight.
Yeah.
And then Grommet opens the trap door. Philip falls through it, and because Victor shot off the carrot and Grommet blocked it with the plane.
Yeah. So then, Wallace, still in giant bunny form, basically like catches the.
Grommet was plummeting down because the plane was shot at, and so Wallace tried to break his fall. and they landed in the cheese tent conveniently.
Yeah.
And so they put Victor in the fake rabbit suit, and everyone thinks that's the were-rabbit, so they start chasing. It even fooled Philip. And they do this thing where it's like the were-rabbit kind of exits Wallace's body, but it looks like Wallace is dead.
Yeah, kind of homage to the ending of the old Wolfman movies.
Mm. And it kind of hurts now because the voice actor who played Wallace is dead.
Rip Peter Sallis.
Yeah. But then Hutch eating cheese gives Gromit an idea to use the cheese. It's kind of like a, what do they call it? A smell. This is weird. Like smelling salts, I think they're called.
Yeah,
like,
smelling
work
salts.
the same way. And like he puts it up to his nose. Cheese? Cheese! It's me again! I'm back!
And then,
You okay?
he gets up, Totsie! Oh! Because he's butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
So, fucking Gromit puts a box under him to cover him up, and the box fucking says, may contain nuts.
Does it really?
Yup.
That's funny. And so, Lady Toddington uses her big lawn or big field as a bunny sanctuary. And,
Yep.
And you know, Wallace has this line like, "There'll always be a piece of me here at Toddington Hall," and I was like, "Huh?" And what it just means like Hutch is there too. Makes it sound like she was pregnant or something. And that's this curse is a were-rabbit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give it that. That sounds reasonable. And at the moment of recording this, the only Wallace and Gromit feature film, but that will soon change. And we will see you next time.